our Lunch and Learn webinar today. Jean, I'm so glad that you're here with us today. So excited about this conversation. I've been looking forward to it. So I want to make sure people know that they can put some comments in the chat. You and I will be happy to answer them later. So I'm not going to read through some of these slides. I think there's quite a few people that know about our organization, but if you don't, here you can just read about this. And then we have my little bio here, tells a little bit about me. And you can just read that over. Wow. It's been since 2007.
Mm-hmm.
And we have Jean's little bio, and I love that picture on your desk. Looks like that's you and your wife.
That's one of my favorite picture.
Is it?
Mm-hmm.
And I can see on your desk the Haiti and the Haiti flag. So I think
Mm-hmm.
as you're talking today, people are gonna get to know that you grew up in Haiti. So,
Mm-hmm.
all righty. And I'm really excited because people are going to get a glimpse into the warehouse. I'm not sure if I would have got that glimpse if I didn't invite you to do this webinar today. You sent me a video. I've seen a couple pictures, but that's awesome. I'm just really excited. So people hang in there with us so you can see that video. We're going to show it a little bit later in the webinar. And then this is just kind of what we're going to talk about today. Okay, I'm going to introduce Jean. He works with Blessings International. And if I have some of my other partners on here, I am going to say Blessings International is one of my all-time favorite partners. And then Jean and I are just going to have some questions, and you're going to see that little video that I said of behind the scenes footage. And then if you have any questions, you can put them in the chat. And our team's going to be just monitoring the chat. So just go ahead and put them in there. And if you are watching on Facebook today, you can put your comments on Facebook, and then we'll also see them. And then we're going to talk about next steps and how you can get involved. So, Jean, thank you so much for being here. I've been looking forward to it. We've been talking for about a month about this webinar, and the day is here. And so we hope that quite a few people have joined us. We're also going to be recording it so people can watch it later. But while you and I are talking, they could maybe be eating their lunch or a snack or chips or sipping on their coffee or whatever. But let's get to talking. So we titled this webinar From the Warehouse to the Field and How Medicine Becomes a Mission. And there's a little glimpse into that warehouse. And man, I've seen a lot of these boxes. Do you know I actually had my hand on a couple of these boxes yesterday? I hold on to them and use them for other things. But yeah, just a little glimpse there. So, welcome, John. And can you tell us a little bit about Blessings International?
Yes, I'm excited to be here to just share a little bit about blessings and our share partnership together. So Blessings International is a Christian nonprofit organization. We specialize in providing low-cost medicines to both U.S. clinics and also teams that go overseas to do mission work. We help them with medicines, but also help them with finding special medicines that's difficult to get. So we help them finding that and provide that to them. We have been in business for nearly 45 years. We served over 140 countries. So we have a lot of customers, and we are here to just help people get medicines with low cost so they can go overseas and do what they do best.
Wow, that's fantastic. You know what? I didn't know that your organization had been in business that many years
Yeah,
and
we have
also
been.
so many countries. That's
Mhm. Mhm.
incredible. That's incredible. So
It's
that's
amazing what God have been doing through Blessings International.
Well, I agree. And just even how Jean said that, getting special requests, guess who's some special requests, whether it's documents or medicine. I'm already thinking about my next special request. So, okay, so you work, and we put these questions up here. So if somebody's joining a little bit late, they can kind of see what John's answering at that time. So you work there at Blessings International in the warehouse every day, and a little bit, what does that look like? Can you kind of tell us what it looks like, how you prepare the medicine and the supplies for a trip, kind of like Mission Partners for Christ?
Yes, this question is really interesting because most of the time people don't really know what it's into. So we have an amazing teams both in the customer service side and in the warehouse. So the process is simple. First, when we get the order, we review it, and the customer service team they make sure they check the physician license, the address, make sure that the right people sign for the order. We also make sure that the address that on the order is a address that can receive medicines and medical supplies. And then we start the process phase of the order. So when we are processing the order, there is a open communications between the person that's processing the order and then the order contact. So if we do not have something, we don't automatically make that change. We communicate it with the customer
Mhm.
and then they approve that change that we suggest to them. Then after that process is complete, it gets sent to the warehouse where we have another team that will go and just check over again as a second eyes, and then they will start pulling the order, packing it, and ship it out. So it's a really simple process, and we just ship the order out.
Mm, wow.
Mhm.
So, John, where do you source your medication from?
We sourced our medicines, a lot of them from the US through different wholesaler, and then we also get some medicine from India as well.
Okay.
Uh, mhm. But when we try to get like special medicines, mainly in the United States.
Okay,
Mhm.
great. I know I was thinking of some, so it sounds like there's quite a few people on your team, and just how thorough all of you are. And so I appreciate that. And like he said, he comes back and he says, you know what, if we don't have that medication available, we have this substitute. Or, if we're
Mhm.
supposed to follow a certain expiration date, or, so helpful.
Yeah, even myself, Sheri, my team, our team we have here, although I've been with them for a while now, but they amaze me every day. They have the heart to serve, not just to come to work. I've seen it every day because things are changing all the time. We have countries that changing laws and regulations, but every team is committed. They will have the patience and really find what the best way to help the customer.
That's great. So, I before we move on, I just want to mention, like when you said that different countries have different requirements, I was coming to you last fall and said, well, this particular country won't let me import anything from India or China. So
Mm-hmm,
then you accommodate with me with that, and we used a lot of the US medicine.
mm-hmm.
And then I remember sometimes we have to have certain documents like certificates of analysis and things like that. I mean, just for me as a team leader for Mission Partners for Christ, your organization is just goes above and beyond to help me. So I'm so grateful. So the exciting thing is that you decided to go to Guinea with us early last year. It was wonderful to have you. What made you decide to go with us?
Um, I am not new to mission work, to mission trip. Um, it's it was a while since I went to my last mission trip before I went with Mission Partners for Christ. COVID slowed me down a little bit, and I'm also in school. But I was really looking back to go to the mission field. I talked to one of my friends, that I work with, Megan, and she suggests Mission Partner for Christ. So when I went to the website and I read over what you guys have done, especially in West Africa,
Mhm.
it was automatic. I was like, oh, I have to join that team. And yeah, and you guys have been doing really an amazing work. I know there's many people that go to mission and do mission work, but what you guys have been doing targeting those enriched people group that I have seen that it's breathtaking. So I'm really grateful that I was able to be part of that.
Thank you. Thank you for saying that. Yes, our
Mhm.
focus is on unreached people groups. And yes, we often go to West Africa. So when you registered for the trip and you went, were your expectations met?
It was beyond me.
Wow.
It was beyond me, not both spiritually, and also it was an opportunity for me to use my talent and just help people. Yeah.
That's
Mhm.
great. So let's see, what is our, oh, I love this picture. It's one of my favorites. So was there a specific moment on that trip that stood out for you?
Um, yes, there were many. But I also love this picture, Sheri.
Mhm.
I think this picture is actually the moment. If I can expand on that. Um, so this picture, there is a whole story behind it. Wendy, my friend, in this picture, she actually told me that God told her, um, I need to preach the next day. And I was like, okay, maybe God can come to me. But the truth is that I was told that I need to preach. That was 10 at night, and I was going to do it in the morning. And I was not prepared. It's not something that I have done before. I talk about God before, not to that scale. I was nervous to do it. I sat with the pastor. The pastor talked to me about it and just shared the book of the message with me. And I went to my room. I prayed, and thankfully I brought a Bible with me because we didn't have internet. I opened that Bible and just started to go through it, and I was able to do that. And after I shared the message of the salvation, that beautiful woman in the middle came to me and said, I was telling people to not be afraid. If God telling you to move, move. And then she come to me, she said, she was clearly she that God was telling her to move. Come to me, come to me. And I
Mm.
was like, oh, Wendy need to hear that since she was the one that told me that.
And that's a picture of Randy right there.
Yeah. And so what I learned from this moment was it's not something I've done before. It's really telling me that it doesn't matter where we are at. If God called us to do something, it's because God sees that we have that talent. We have something that we can provide. We don't have to be an expert. We don't have to know it all, but God will meet us where we are to do it. So that's really my best moment.
Wow. I love that story, John. And yeah, just asking you at the last minute, that's the flexibility in missions. And then
Mhm.
Randy having spoken that over you that you're going to be
Mhm.
sharing. And we always feel like, well, I'm not an evangelist. I'm not a pastor. So I'm not equipped. But if we are believers in Jesus, and
Mhm.
that's what he has called us to do, is share the gospel, that's the medicine is just a tool. And I
mhm,
know it compassionately and it meets the physical need, but we're really there to share the gospel of Jesus Christ. And
mhm,
so you just took advantage of that opportunity right then and there. We have a wonderful pastor that we work with there. And I don't know if he's on our webinar today, but Pastor Wilmot, we're so grateful for you.
mhm,
And he
mhm,
was teaching all of us a very simple method of how to share the gospel with the
mhm,
circles. It was
mhm.
wonderful. So,
The 3 circles. Mhm,
yeah. So look at this. I mean, just a smile on this woman's face, and you touched her heart. And I know it spread to more people in that area. And we've heard since we were there last February that more people in that people group have come to know Jesus as their Lord and Savior. And
mhm,
that's a result of prayers, being able to go meet their need with the medication, and just your willingness to say yes to go. We have a church planted amongst that people group already, just over the border into Sierra Leone. It was so unexpected. And so we're just excited about that. So thank you for sharing that testimony. That's just
mhm.
one of many testimonies from that trip. So, how has volunteering on the mission field changed your view on the work that you do there at Blessings?
Um, I know even way before I go to the went to the mission trip, I know the work with Duji is extremely important. Because I was in the other side. I grew up in
Mhm.
Haiti. I don't know for sure, but maybe like 40 to 60%, I probably used something from Blessings while I was in Haiti because there were
Mm,
so many people that went there. Um, I know the significance of that. While I was in Haiti as well, I was like a really devoted Christian. I'm still like that. But living in a third world country and living in a really developed country, it's really different than way we see God. In Haiti, I um, I really was relying on God for every single thing. And that's including praying for what I'm going to eat for dinner. But going
mm,
to that trip really bring me back to some
mm.
special moment I have with God. Because sometimes we see God as one of the options, but God is always should be the option. Um, and that trip really remind me of that because seeing people that have nothing, they can go to the hospital. They have to rely on God. So it's really remind me of that. Also, just give me more motivation to come back to blessings and
Mm.
then just really do whatever I can and share with my team that we need to continue to provide that because people on the other side, they don't have other options. If we don't go, if we don't bring it, and most of the places, including my original country, they will not be able to get anything. Yeah.
Right. What do you think was the medicine that was most needed on the trip? Do you remember?
Um, as I was, as a pharmacy technician on that trip, if I can recall, I think malaria medicines was a big one.
That's
Um,
it.
um, blood pressure medicines too
Yeah.
was another one.
Yeah. Yeah. I think.
Constipations medicines.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
No, I didn't tell John I was going to ask that question, but I was just, thinking about
mhm,
it. And, right now, Blessings is making awareness. And it was just, I believe it was April 25th, was like World Awareness Day for
mhm,
malaria. And there, especially in West Africa, we see so many people with malaria, and Blessings are offering, nonprofit organizations like myself are offering us some free malaria medicine at this time. They're here in April and in May. So those that are watching, you can take advantage of it. But also, funds are needed for that. And so we want to share about how you can partner with us, but also the blood pressure. We see some really high blood pressures, don't we? Like 200 over 100 or 125.
Yeah, we saw a lot of them from that trip. And every village we went to, if I can remember, I think what really struck me was sometimes because I was serving as a pharmacy technician, sometimes people think I can make that executive decision, just give them what they need. And
Mhm.
when the day is about to be done, especially the villages where there's so many people and we are clearly not going to see all of them. I was
Yeah,
like, man, I wish we have more people with just more medicines. So the need is really big.
yeah, it
Yeah.
is. It is. It's really big. So, ooh, I want to show this video. I promised everybody I was going to show this little video here of behind the scenes. So here we go.
Welcome to the Blessings International Warehouse, a place where compassion meets action. From this warehouse, we ship supplies to U.S. clinics across the United States, support short-term missions teams, export medicines to countries around the world. Our mission is simple. We put Christ in the center of everything we do. We provide high-quality, life-saving medicines to underserved communities, both in the United States and global. This work is very personal to me, especially when we serve countries like Haiti, my first home, where access to healthcare can be limited and in some cases impossible to get. But this mission is bigger than us. We invite you to join us in this journey, to serve, to give, and to make a difference. You can join us by supporting efforts like short-term mission trips with organizations such as Mission Partners for Christ. Together, we can bring hope, healing, and blessing to those who need it most. Thank you.
Wonderful, wonderful. And so let's go on to our next. Oh,
Welcome to the Blessings.
Sorry, we're trying to do that. Trying to move on to the next one. There we go. So this tells you how you could support our work. We have our QR code up there. We have some upcoming opportunities with Mission Partners for Christ. Hope Jean is going to be with us on one of those trips. We have our trips listed through 2027. But we want to just provide an opportunity. People are asking some questions. Okay. So we have someone asking a question. Do we have any tips for getting the medicine through customs in the various countries that we travel? Okay, well, I'll answer first and then I'll see if Jean has anything else. We always work with established partners in every country that we serve. And I'm introduced by somebody else to the host partner. And then I ask many questions. And one of the questions that's very important is, do they know the process to bring medication into the country where we're going to be serving and bringing a team? And if they don't, I ask them if they can start with the Ministry of Health. We also get temporary licenses, physician nursing licenses, but then also from the pharmaceutical board. Do they have requirements of expiration dates? Or do they have a specific formulary you have to follow? And so actually we rely on our host partner going to these different government offices to help us get the approvals. We don't enter a country without that approval authorization. And it's so important. Times have changed so much since I started doing these trips back in 2008. And, they have somebody, customs at the airport, that is going to open the bag most of the time and look and see. So you need to have that authorization letter, and that is the host partner working on that. So there's different documents that we may have to provide. Blessings helps us a lot with that.
Mm-hmm.
And Blessings provides a document that says it is quality medication, it is donated, it's specific to that country. It can list the lot number and the manufacturer, the expiration date. So it's important to have all of that medication when you come into the airport there. But I send it to the partner ahead of time to get the approvals. And so just working with your host partner to get all of those approvals. John, is there anything else that you would include?
Yeah, this is like a really good question. So when it comes to customs, there is a lot into it because each countries have different laws and different requirements. So we do have a lot of supporting document when the customers are going to the country. So if they know a little bit about the country, that can help us know what's the best way to serve them. What's document we can support them with. So we have performers, we have different performers that have different information based on what they need to get approval. Um, we also ship directly to countries. So if we're shipping there, we will provide the customers all the documentation in the front. So that way they can submit everything and then try to get approval before we ship the medicines to the country.
That's great. So I just want to mention the person who is on the chat here. I'm going to ask my assistant to put my email address in the chat here. And so if you're planning to bring a team to a country, have an upcoming trip, and you haven't been there before, and I've been there, or maybe Jean knows of some of the requirements of that country, we would love to connect with you
Yes.
and kind of give you share some of our insight and experience with those countries. But that's a great question. Okay, we have a comment about someone who is a medical professional that wants to help. Well, go to our website here. Would love you to check out our upcoming trips and see if you can join us. Um, Someone's asking us here about, after the trip, do you do a follow-up on health and the spiritual life of the people that you meet? That's a great question. And
Mhm.
Jean was actually able to see some of that
Mhm.
firsthand there in Guinea. So can you share about that part? Like, just from we do this with every trip. It's important to us, but because you were with us in Guinea, can you share?
Yeah, that's honestly something that I really like about Mission Partners for Christ. So in the medical aspect, there is some people that were seriously ill. So those people we provide further care for them, like we send them to the closest hospital where they can get more help. But also we dedicated people to check on them and report to us in the US. If we need to send money, we will. If we need to do anything, we will do it for them. In the spiritual aspect, we also have pastors on the ground that will travel there every other month to check on the people that accepted Christ while we were there, but also people that continue to come to Jesus as well. We are actively in those villages. We are working on a church down there. So it's amazing because we receive like pictures and emails all the time from the team over there. That's
Wow,
amazing.
that's
Mhm.
great. I guess a couple things is, health education is very important to us. So we do that during the time that we are there. Some of them, it's just simple handouts about hand washing, which we saw on our trip this year in February. But community development is very important to us. We evaluate, what is their water source there? If we can raise the funds
Mhm.
to place a clean water well in their community, we try to do that. But just really coming alongside of those communities, showing that we care and helping them come out of poverty. We're in the process of following up. on some of that community development from our trip in February also. And so when they see that we truly care about their physical needs, we believe that their heart is going to be touched. But many of them, we have audio Bibles, which we bring. So those that have accepted Jesus can receive an audio Bible. Often the Jesus film is shown even after, like Jean was sharing. The pastors and
Mhm.
missionaries are going back and continuing. But that's really important to us. Even as I make a decision about bringing a team somewhere, I have to know that there's going to be continued follow up in
Mhm.
those communities. It's not just that we come in and that we leave. So I'm able to provide for those that are interested in our work or have served with us, or I know there's several alumni on this webinar. And so I want to provide updates to them of the ongoing work that's happening. And sometimes we do have some local doctors within that country serve with us, and that's great.
Mhm.
They're familiar with some of those illnesses and diseases that we don't see here in the United States. And then they can follow up on some of the more serious cases. So that's always great to have them. I did see somebody made a comment here about a dentist. Well, we would love to have a dentist. It's been a little while. So if you are a dentist or you know of a dentist, we would love to have you go. Unfortunately, we don't have all of that equipment that we have here in the United States to do restorative, but we do see people that have abscesses and have tooth decay and things like that. So a dentist would be very helpful. I see a question. If you could go back and tell yourself one thing before the medical mission trip, Jean, what would that be?
Um, um, when you asked me to go to the trip, I I was excited, but when you go to some place sometime, people really try to prepare themselves. I wasn't doing that. I was just like telling God, please use me, use me, use me in any way that you can. Um, and that's basically it. I don't think there were much I would go back and try to tell myself because I was just like, I'm a vessel. I know I was going to serve as a pharmacy technician, but I was just ready to be used by God. And that's what God did. So I know going to another country could be a little bit nerve-wracking and scared, but if you just give your heart to God and said, just use me and God will use you. You don't have to be a medical person. There's
Hmm.
a lot of other stuff people can do. Um, it's just like just putting yourself out there to be used and in whichever way God want to use you.
Hmm. That's great. Someone was asking about what are some of the conditions that we normally are treating when we're there. And I know since you filled the medication orders there at Blessings, what are some of the most common? We did say malaria, we did say high blood
Mhm.
pressure. What else do you
Mhm.
remember that people will see?
Um, we had some diabetic case as well.
Hmm.
And um, we have a lot of antibiotic stuff. Open wounds, we have a lot of those because in this country, sometimes people don't have proper shoes, and then if they have any little opening, it's easy to get infected, and we bring a lot of antibiotic for that. Um, yeah, but malaria and blood pressure in West Africa, it's really big.
Hmm. Hmm. So we have a question about, what communities do we normally serve? And Mission Partners for Christ is currently focused on working in Africa. And the need is great around the world, like even like you said, in Haiti is great. But our focus, we feel that God's called us specifically to Africa. And then we do receive a lot of requests, and we wish we could come everywhere, but we're always introduced by someone else who knows that missionary or pastor that is working in that country. And it's really important, like we said earlier in this webinar, just knowing the follow-up. And for the host team to be able to do the follow-up and commit to the follow-up. And we were also sharing just being able to obtain all of the approvals from the government. It's a lot of work to host our team. You know, the lodging, we took some local flights in Guinea. The transportation. Remember, we walked over that bridge, okay? So it is a lot. It's a lot. So I'm looking to see if we have any other questions. I think that is about it. And those that are joining us today, I'm so grateful. Thank you so much. Thank you for your questions. So we did answer the questions. There's another little glimpse of loading up those trucks. Yeah.
Mhm.
And so I just want to thank everyone for just attending our webinar today. If you think, I know that we put our email address in the chat, my email address. If something comes specifically for Jean or blessings, I'll be glad to forward that. But I just want to say thank you all for joining.
Yeah.
Jean, thank
Sherry,
you.
before we go, somebody asked early, they would like to help something like that. I think it was that a doctor. Um,
Mm,
Sometimes people ask me this question, what I tell them sometime, we are doing important work. And when you're helping people, you can't just live in peace. You are under attack by the devil. So um, really the best way you can help both Blessings and Mission Partners for Christ
mm,
is to pray for us.
right.
Laws are changing in countries all over the world, especially what now. It's get more difficult every day. So if you would really pray for us, we do devotion every Tuesday and Thursday. We pray over our team that's going out. Just if you would join us in that, just pray for us. Um, Also, if you feel prompted to help financially, if you give to Blessings, it really help us keep our costs low for our customers so they can get more medicines and just go and serve more people as well. Mhm.
Mm. That's great. I'm so glad that you remembered that because as we were talking a little bit earlier, I remembered how you told me that your team gets together and you pray. Because I remember specifically there was a trip and we were waiting on those approvals and your team was praying for us.
Yep.
And we saw God come through and work that
Mhm.
situation out.
Mhm.
And that is really the foundation of the work that God's called us to do is prayer. So, but we do have a prayer team. It's once a month. It's the third Monday of the month at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time, and we do it on a conference line. So if you're interested in that, you can comment or you can email us and join our prayer call. But also just even the donations. 100% of the donations that come into Mission Partners for Christ goes toward the work there in Africa. None of it goes toward paying any of our team. So, and it's both of our organizations are nonprofits and they would receive a tax deduction if they give. And just to kind of give a little bit of an insight on the cost of the malaria medicine, just to treat one patient is $5. I believe that's about the cost, if I remember correctly. It's about $5. And
Mhm.
then, we can see easily in West Africa alone, like 300 people that have malaria. So that's just a large cost. And then just the cost of providing the medication alone for the trip, it can cost $6,000 just alone. But the joy that people and the gratefulness that people have,
Mhm.
I think, when I was feeling overwhelmed or discouraged, years ago, am I making a difference? But knowing we have access to pharmacies and Walgreens and to get Tylenol and vitamins and things like that, but just to even give them some Tylenol or ibuprofen that relieve their pain means so much, and they just see the love of Jesus through that. So,
Mhm.
any final comments?
Um, well, what I would add is if you're in the webinar listening, you may not be a physician, but you have something God can use. If you have the time, see if you can join Mission Partners for Christ to a mission trip. They have multiple mission trips scheduled for July in the fall and next winter as well. I've seen it. There's shoes you can pass. There's people you can pray over. There's many opportunities. Yeah.
John, thank you. It looks like you're tracking when our upcoming trips are. You're waiting to get my next order, right?
I've been really thinking about it. But I will wait to surprise you.
Oh, how wonderful. So,
Mhm.
thank you, Jean, so much. It's been a wonderful time. I've just loved spending a few minutes with you today and just providing an opportunity for everybody to hear about the work of blessings, the wonderful work that you're doing, and how you're just led by the Lord in all of that work and the wonderful team that you have. So I'm so grateful for that. And I look forward, to having you join us again soon. So thank you, John.
Thank you. Thank you, Sheri.